So here we are with the Bionic Boxing Barber. We're in Salisbury. We're with Mike Pyman. This is his second boxing event that he's put on. Mike, what a trip it's been here for you to get here, and we're here with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much for coming. I know it was a long way for a lot of your team and yourself, but I massively appreciate you coming down. Thank you.
That's absolutely no problem. You're 26 years old. This is your second boxing show. Wow, you know, it's so good that young promoters are coming through and, you know, they're getting all the local fighters and they're getting them out the gyms into a boxing ring locally.
Absolutely. So I'd just like to point out we've got a fighter on tonight who's headlining the event, which is Ben Sturck. Now Ben is the first to admit he's had some issues with his mental health. He's a top bloke, and he only got back into it on our last event in September. Because basically he sadly lost one of his friends to suicide, and he's very vocal about it. You'll see on the front of his jumper he's got a picture of Jamie, top bloke, and it's so nice because Ben said to me the other day, it's so lovely. He's got a lot of time for me because I got him back into it, and I've got a lot of time for him because he sells a bloody load of tickets and he's a top bloke.
I only know about Ben through my manager because, you know, I went off quietly after the Swindon show, and my manager went out with Ben, and I think they painted the town red in Swindon that night. So, you know, I think he's got a friendship with him, and now they're friends on social media. But I'm going to get a chance to meet him tonight, and I've spoke to him a little bit, you know, through Facebook, through Instagram. 22 years out of the game. He comes back after fighting amateur for England, and now here he is testing himself on, you know, a big white collar, you know, show. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, Ben isn't amateur at this. He knows what he's doing. He fought over in Germany. He's a top boxer, and he can just turn it on at the flick of a switch. You see him sometimes in sparring. He's not the greatest in sparring, but he's just got a game head, and he can just chuck it on whenever he wants.
Yeah. How old is he? Is he 30 something?
He's about 37, I think. 37 to 38. Yeah.
So, you know, he's turning his life around and challenging himself after the loss of a dear friend.
Absolutely.
And he wants to get back in the ring. How hard has it been to find somebody to get him matched up with at this level?
Do you know what? That's a really good question. It is a really difficult thing to do because he knows what he's doing, but because he's had so long out and because of his age, you have to try and find that right match, that right in between of someone who knows what they're doing but not so fit, so young. Because I tell you what, I have to say, and I told Ben this to his face, Connor Stafford, he fought on one of Tank Promotions show. Shout out to Rich and his team, fantastic show the other week. And I was worried about that fight with Connor because Connor's game and he's active and he's young, and that work rate would just be like, I thought he was going to really trouble Ben, but he was able just to turn it on, sit on him, and fight his fight.
Yeah, I noticed with Ben, he gets stuck in. He's what I call an old school fighter. He digs deep, brawler. He gets in, he gets stuck in deep, and he doesn't mind any which way he has it.
I couldn't sum it up better myself. It's simply, he wants to get in there, he wants to have a scrap. And what he likes to do is he likes to be up close and personal. He likes to make it difficult. He likes to make it uncomfortable, and that's the way he is. But you say that about him in his fights. He's the loveliest bloke outside the ring. I've got so much time for him.
Okay, well, we wish Ben well with his fight. And his opponent?
His opponent is Jack Watson, and again, Jack is no joke whatsoever. He's a very good lad. He had some decent amateur experience. I believe he had 40 fights and won 30 of them in the amateurs, so he knows what he's doing. This is going to be Ben's hardest fight, I reckon, but he's done what he needs to do. He's proved that he can turn it on a game night, and that's what he's going to do again, I think.
Okay, so how many bouts of boxing have we got here this evening?
13.
13, so that's 13 fights. What are we starting with?
So we're actually starting with a fight where a lad has travelled all the way from Spain. So he's flying in from Tenerife to take this fight. And I've got to give them a shout out. They're called Team Canelo over there. And they're flown all the way over for that. And they're taking on a lad from Romsey called Domenico Pace. And yeah, it'll be a nice fight. They're both brand new to it, neither fought before. So it'll be interesting to see what they come over with. But I know that both boys have been really, really training hard for it.
To me, you seem very calm. You obviously you know what you're talking about when it comes to these fighters. I'm guessing it's been a rocky road at times with different matches not being made and guys not turning up. What's it been like with the process?
So, we had someone yesterday that just decided not to do their weigh-in, and it is frustrating, and every promoter knows that you get that sometimes, but. You've just got to roll with the punches. You think I've put it back to the analogy of actually fighting. If you get to a point where you're really up against the ropes, where someone's really having a go at you, you've got to find a way out of it. You've got to find a way to roll out of that situation, pivot off. It's the same with promoting. You've just got to do exactly the same thing. You've got to find a way past it, and that's what I've done.
I found with my journey with the Bionic Boxing Barber, there's doors that are open, and boxing people want you to get involved and they want to have a voice. Some other people aren't so kind and nice, and they're like, no, we don't want you, we don't do that. What sort of relationship have you got around this area with gyms and boxing people?
So one of my sort of key things was to invite as many gyms to the event as possible. Not charging them. I want them here because I want to show that, because this is the other thing when it comes to matching people. If you treat people well and you invite them to your show and you give them all the support you can give them, they'll throw it back. The boxing community, as you know, the white-collar boxing community especially, if you lose a fighter really late on in the day, there's going to be people here that would quite happily step in for me, that are just coming to spectate. There's geezers that have come down from up north today that are filling in for that lad that didn't do his weigh-in yesterday, and he's just coming down and he just said, oh yeah, I'll jump in the car, I'll do it. You just think that's madness to have that level of respect. And that's a shout out to Neil Tidman. Neil, thank you very much, mate. I can't say how much I appreciate that, because it is a big thing to do last minute.
Right, tell us about the sponsors tonight, because I think there's two main sponsors that, without their help, you couldn't put anything like this on to this magnitude and scale.
Absolutely. So we've got AW Builders, which is down here to my left. They'll be there. That's where their table will be this evening. So Andy Watkins is the gentleman who runs that, and he's got his table there. Basically, they're a building company, i.e. AW Builders, and then we've got Mceniry and Cooley. So we've got Johnny Mceniry, Tom Mceniry, and Gavin Cooley, and they're the guys that will be doing that from there. They are here to support Ben mainly, but they are here to support me as well. They've been fantastic throughout the process, and they've been really helpful, and always there if I need any help with anything.
So we hit it off pretty much, just before the Swindon show, and then we got talking. And, I noticed you're 26-year-old, you're putting on your second show. It's in Salisbury, just up the road from where we were the other week with Rich at Tank Promotions. And, I really wanted to be part of this. So I said to my team, we're back on the road and we're going to support this guy in doing what he's doing. And, I turned up and it was everything that I thought it would be. We started to push you a little bit on social media with this event. Absolutely. And I got you onto the Fight Night boxing page, and we shoved up the event on there, and we were lucky enough to get liked and shared and commented on by the White Buffalo, Francis Botha himself down in South Africa. So we know, we're boxing people, we know how small and how big the community can be and how everybody helps each other.
Big time, absolutely. Again, another shout out, Dean Dodge was one of our judges last time. He's making his DAZN debut this evening, so I want to give a shout out to him. That's a fantastic achievement. A lad who he fought Reece Bellotti actually in his last fight. He did lose that, but to step up against someone of that calibre takes real bottle and real skill. So well done on that, and best of luck on the DAZN show this evening.
So who have we got here tonight making their debut? Because I'm guessing, and I've noticed your card is full of teenagers and very young guys.
Yeah, so unfortunately we're a no under 18s event, but we have got a lot of lads that are between sort of 18 and 20 that do want to make their debut, get a bit of a stamp out there. We're only our second show, so getting a good platform on us today could put them on a bigger show later on down the line.
So this is obviously going to be a success, and you guys know what you're doing. You've got a vision for your promotion. Is there something in the pipeline this year, and what do we expect from you in the future?
So I'm not sure about this year. I think we're sort of cutting our teeth a little bit this year, making sure that we know what we're doing. We can survive certain things like people dropping out last second, which we're proving today that we can. But I think next year we're going to look for a big show down in Bournemouth, hopefully at the BIC. That's where we're aiming for.
Well, listen, I really, really hope you have a good night, and I know you will. When we get the atmosphere going later, I'm going to dive in and at half time and have a chat with you and see if it's everything that you expect it to be. You're going to be busy, but I'm going to dive on you and find out how you're feeling about the whole event.
Yeah, no worries.
But we're so happy to be helping you push this, and thanks ever so much for inviting us up to be a part of it.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
All
Really
the best to you.
appreciate that.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.